Hello, empowered woman. Welcome to what could possibly be the most special episode of the Empowered Woman podcast. I'm here to announce to you that my very first book, The Empowered Woman, The Ultimate Roadmap to Business Success, is officially live. It is out. I went live on Facebook and shared a little bit more about the process of writing this book, the structure and all of it. And I repurposed the audio to release this episode and encourage you, hopefully, to buy your copy, to share it, and to support me in sharing this amazing message of empowerment. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on personal growth, visibility, and profit for women entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to start believing in yourself, giving yourself permission to succeed, and let your voice be heard to make an impact in the world as an entrepreneur, this is the place for you. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Marcia Spurk, and I'm your host, triplet mom, woman empowerment coach, and all things motivation extraordinaire. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode.
Oh my goodness, we are here, you guys. Oh my gosh. Let me mute myself here. I'm a little bit late, but I made it. Today is the day. It feels like forever. Thank you to everyone who is joining in. I am so excited for everyone who's already ordered their copy, for all your support, everyone who was just waiting. Some of my friends were like, it's in the cart and first thing in the morning, I'm going to do it. Some people were like, can I just order ahead of time before I forget? And I just wanted to hop on live first and foremost to thank you for all your support, to share a little bit about this journey, because ever since I started talking more about publishing a book, many people have been asking me, how long did it take? What was it like? What did you do? Did you take a course? How did it all work out? So, and I will be sharing this in the coming weeks and months. Obviously, this is going to be a part of my story and my business forever now. But I also wanted to take the time to, go live, make sure everyone is aware that this is happening. And thank you so much for everyone who's joining me. Let me share this in my group. And if you're able to share this video in your groups or with friends, tag friends in the comments so that they know who I am. Because at times it's like, oh, support this person, buy this book, and they don't know who this person is. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this live and continuing on to talk about the book and all of the things. So thank you so much for joining me. Hi, John. Yay. Good morning. So I started writing this book in May 2020. I had been connecting with several friends who had already written their book, and I didn't really know what it was going to be about. I was kind of unsure on if it was going to be about my story or what exactly I wanted to cover. And so it took me a little bit of time until I realized I want this book to be about the framework and to be about my coaching, so that it wasn't just a memoir and my story, because who cares to read my story? And I mean, I think that is a really good thing to put out if you feel it in your heart to share your story. But I wanted it to be attached to my business so that it made more sense for people to want to get to know me if they want to understand what I do as a business and as a coach, and to not only be about my story, but be about the lessons and the tools that I have used in my personal growth and in my story, if that makes sense. And so many people wonder, how long does it actually take to write a book? And I have to tell you, it takes as long as you want it to take. And for me, it took a little bit longer because it was a journey, because it was my personal growth journey. Because if you're gung-ho on saying, I'm going to write 2,000 words a day and all of that, you can have it done really, really quickly, especially if you have somebody guiding you with the content. In my case, the content was my framework. So I didn't actually have anyone guiding me for the content of the book, because I went through the steps of the framework that I already teach. So if you know me and what I teach in terms of content creation, I highly encourage that you have a framework for your business, that you have a client's journey, that you have steps, because it makes it a lot easier for you to create content, and it makes it a lot easier for you to write a book if you want to write a book, right? So that it's more of a linear path, but it's not about you. You make it about person that's reading. Does that make sense? So even though I talk about my story, I don't make it so much about me. I make it about the lesson so that people can take something away from it. It's not just reading about who I am. It's reading about my lessons and things that can encourage you to reflect. So that's the approach that I went with. And the fact that it took a year and a half to write the book really was not because that's how long it takes. It's because of how long I took to make the decision. And somebody was just asking me earlier today, how long did it take you? And blah, blah, blah. And so I actually hired a ghostwriter. Her name is Genesis. So if you're wanting, I've been introducing her to lots of people because she did a phenomenal job. What I did with my book is that I actually spoke my book. I recorded separate tracks, kind of like a podcast episode for each of the chapters. And the ghostwriter made sense of it. So she transcribed, but made sense of it in like a logical structure for everything. So that was like the bulk of the content. And then, hi, Lindsay, good morning. And then I had an editor comb through everything and help me create a more cohesive look, if you will, for each of the chapters, and making sure that the beginning had to do with the end. Like the editor really helped me bring everything together. And her name is Melanie. Hi, Sarah. Thanks so much for joining me. And she's amazing as well. So I'm happy to make introductions and connections to all of these amazing women who have helped me in the process of this book. And it's been an amazing journey. So when I started working with the editor, it was a matter of like a month or two when everything was ready. And then it was creating the accounts on Amazon, creating the accounts on Barnes & Noble, iTunes, all of that stuff, which then I did hire somebody, and her name is Veronica Yeager, and she's amazing. Also somebody that I would love to connect you with, because she was the one that did all the behind the scenes things that I don't know, and that would take me forever to do, and I don't have that time. And that was another reason why it took me a little bit longer to get the book published, was because I was busy with things of my business. And I was really focused on growing my business and my audience and my income. And I think that was a great strategy, because now in releasing this, a lot more people are aware of me. A lot more people are interested in understanding how I've grown and how this came to be. So even though it took longer than it could have taken, the timing was actually really good. So that's something else for you to keep in perspective as you're wanting to write a book yourself, is planning it strategically, timing wise, to make sure that it is a success. And I think, whenever you launch it, it's great. And it's something to be proud of and something under your belt. And even with me launching it right now, I was, thinking, oh my gosh, I kind of rushed this. I could have waited a week to make sure more people saw it. But at the end of the day, I've been talking about this for months. And I really made a huge push on my birthday last year in December to say this thing's coming out in January. So as soon as I knew a date, I decided to go on out there and make it happen. So for those of you who are watching me, let me know if you have any questions in terms of the process of writing the book. Fun fact, I actually had a hard copy, a paperback with me, and I went to visit my sister over the weekend and I forgot it there. So I ordered more, but it hasn't come. So what I actually have is the printed version here, and I would love to read some excerpts for you. But basically, the book is divided in 5 chapters, which is the 5 steps in my framework called the Empowered Woman Path. So my focus really here is helping you walk a path that will take you into more empowerment. Hi, Gary. Thank you so much for joining me. Finding specific steps, because many times in life we want to do things, but we don't have clear steps on what to do. And again, this is a really meta way of helping you understand how to organize your content and your business. Is there has to be a clear set of steps so that people understand where you're taking them and how you're taking them, right? So this is essentially what I did with this book, is teaching these steps, but infusing my story with it. So in the introduction, I talk a little bit about who I am and where I've come from, coming from Brazil, who my parents were, the whole journey of me marrying an American, coming to the US, my whole story really of being obsessed with the American culture, and how in my path, I understood why that was. And one of the main tools that I use in this book is the Enneagram. And I talk about how the Enneagram and understanding my personality type and how I operate was key in my growth journey. And that's why I'm super excited that in conjunction with the book, so something that I'm releasing at the end of the month, is I'm recording 9 songs. So 9 original songs. I love music, and I'd been trying to figure out how to incorporate singing and music in my coaching. And the time is now. And I will be recording, in the process of recording 9 songs, and they will be released at the end of the month for those of you who choose to participate in the Empowered Woman Experience, which is going to be a 5-day boot camp. I'll be sharing more throughout the rest of the month because we start January 24th. But for now, the focus, all eyes, is on the book. So like I said, the intro is when I give you more of the bulk of my story, because I didn't want the book to be focused on me, an autobiography or memoir. I feel like it's an important way of creating context for understanding why I'm talking about what I'm talking about in this book, but that's not the focus. The focus really is giving you clear steps to understand yourself, to empower yourself. And what's so interesting is that my business coach, who is Gary, who is a man, was very much involved in this whole process. And I loved the review that he gave for the book in saying, I recommend this for men as well, not only for them to recommend it to women that they care about, but for them to understand and support the women that they care about. I truly, truly enjoyed the reviews that my closest mentors and friends have given. And I just wanted to read Gary's because he was the first and the main encourager for me to write this book and to make it about my business and about my journey and coaching, more so than just a memoir. And I am so, so grateful for his guidance. And again, if you're looking for a mentor that can help you in that way, I'm happy to introduce you to Gary as well. So he says, The Empowered Woman is a truly special book. Marta Spurk's courage is evident by her willingness to share both the ups and the downs of her personal journey, which has allowed her to become the empowered woman she has become. So it is a book of a lot of vulnerability. I really open my heart and I tell you all about my struggles in wanting to be perfect, wanting to do things just right, wanting to be the best at everything, struggling with, jealousy, with comparison, really opening up and telling you about these not so pretty feelings that I know all of us struggle with, but I chose to open up and talk about them so that you don't feel alone, so that you understand that we all go through similar things, but not to stay there, to take it a step further and really understand the lessons behind those things and why they are there, especially because of childhood trauma and all of that, and rise above, right? And make something beautiful out of the hardships and the challenges. So Gary continues on and says, Marta is inviting you to follow the path she discovered to embrace the empowered woman you are. Trust her and she won't let you down. I also recommend this book to any man who wants to support the women he cares about. And that's really the message of this book is if you learn to trust the empowered woman within you, she won't let you down because this empowered woman is already there. And through this book, I will help you find her. I will help you reconnect with her and ultimately unleash her into the world to empower the people around you. Because that's something else that I realized is that as I empower myself, I become an empowered person who can empower others. And this is what we should be doing as people running around on earth, but also as business owners, understanding that your business is empowering other people as well. So this is the journey. This is the focus of the book. The very first chapter is called Notice Yourself. And this is when I introduce the Enneagram. And I talk about all of the types, what they mean, their traits, and encourage you to not only take the test to begin this, but to dive deeper to really find yourself within those personality traits and personality types. Chapter 2 is called Listen to Yourself, and it's when we dive deeper into the self-talk that is common to each of the types. So depending on your personality type, the conversations in your head changes a little bit, right? Type 1s tend to be more focused on fixing things, focused on mistakes. Type 2s tend to be more focused on making everyone around them happy and put themselves in the back burner. So your conversations and your self-talk in your head have a little bit of a different nuance depending on your main focus in life. And that is a lot of what the Enneagram talks about. So if you're an avid Enneagram fan, you will enjoy this. If you don't know much about it, this is your chance to really dive a little bit deeper and understand more about yourself. Then chapter 3, I talk about forgiving yourself. And it is really this opportunity for you to look at all the things you uncovered on step 1 and 2 and find gratitude for the hard stuff. Find gratitude for the not so pretty stuff, for the ugly things that you may uncover about yourself and your personality type, because we tend to beat ourselves up a lot. We tend to want to be farther ahead. We tend to compare a lot, and there's a lot of resentment in that. And if there's anything I've learned in my journey, is that there is no room for growth and resentment. So forgive yourself is a really, really important step in this journey. And it's when I encourage you to expedite the process. Do you know what expedites your growth? It's forgiveness. So if you're standing still and if you're feeling stuck, most likely you are stuck in resentment for others and for yourself. So this chapter really is the midpoint, because it's when one of the most important steps in this journey is becoming aware and then finding gratitude and forgiveness for yourself and for others, for your past, for your family. I talk a lot about forgiveness for my family, for childhood stories, forgiveness for mentors, forgiveness for clients, and understanding that the more I'm able to forgive myself and others in this journey, the more I am able to grow and advance. Really, this is it. And what's interesting is that I decided to call the subtitle of this book, The Ultimate Roadmap to Business Success. And you may think that I talk about strategy and I talk about numbers and algorithm and content and all of that. And that is an important part of business. And that's probably book number 2, just saying. But the foundation is within, because your business is an extension of yourself. So that's what we need to start with. It's what's going on inside of here. Chapter 4 is empower yourself, is when I really talk about you finding pride for everything that you are, learning to pat yourself on the back instead of expecting other people to do that for you. And I share some tools on how to do that. I've sprinkled through the book some client stories and testimonials, which I am so grateful that they allowed me to share some of that. Amazing stories of women that have been working with me for the last few years and that have experienced so much growth as a result of walking the empowered woman path. And finally, chapter 5 is transform yourself. It's about seeing and really rediscovering this empowered woman within by walking those first 4 steps and becoming a more self-accepting version of who you are. This is my definition of transformation, becoming a more self-accepting and self-loving version of yourself. And these are the steps that I take you through to get to that point, understanding that that's not the end. It's a continuous cycle, right? Once you get to the final step, you go back. And in fact, the book is actually really, really short. The paperback version has 104 pages when you count the credits and all of that. So it's something that you can actually read within an hour or 2, which, by the way, I will share some rankings with you in a minute. But within the category of 2-hour books in business and money, I believe, we are already a bestseller. So thank you so much for your support. Because I didn't want it to be something complicated. I didn't want it to be another book that you start and you don't finish. I wanted it to be something quick, something easy, something to get you going on this journey and to understand that you have what it takes. That's why it's empowering. I don't want you to depend on me or anyone else. I want you to understand that what you need is already within. It's just a matter of having those clear steps to start this journey. So if you get the book, let me know in the comments if you've already got your copy. You can go to martersburg.com/book and get your copy right now. And I can post that in the comments too, to make it easier. You can read the book tonight. You can finish the book tonight, probably, or within the next few days. By the end of the week, you can be done. And I would love to hear your comments and have you post a review on Amazon. As you know, this is super helpful and super important for authors. With your feedback, whether you thought it was great, whether you thought something was missing, constructive criticism is welcome. Feel free to send me a private message or an email with more elaborate comments as well. I'm open. And the reason why I put this out there is because I'm ready to build more visibility and exposure. So fun fact, this summer, as I was working through a coaching program, I was asked a question that many people go through in their personal growth journey. If you weren't afraid, what would you do? If you had no fear, what would you do? How many times have you been asked that question or seen this question, especially in motivational, speeches or whatever? And for the first time, I actually had a really clear answer. It was, I would publish this book. Because to me, publishing this book really means I am committed to this work, that I am not going back, that I am committed to being this person that I've become, that I'm not just giving up. Because as business owners, you know the roller coaster, everyone's seen the graphic. There's lots of pushback, internal and external, for you to give up. I mean, even this morning as I was driving home from taking the kids to school, I was thinking, all right, I got this thing out, whatever. There's this constant second guessing of maybe this is not so great, you know? And this is the reason why I chose to challenge myself a little bit further, put myself in this uncomfortable situation of being further vulnerable, of being further criticized and judged, because essentially this is what it is. And this is why when I got asked that question the last summer, if you weren't afraid, what would you do? I decided I'm going to put this out. Even if it's not perfect, even if it's not long, even if I'm still learning, even if I don't have a multi-million-dollar business, I'm going to put it out there. And I'm going to trust that it's going to help people. And I'm going to trust that it's going to be a great tool of growth for me, for others, and for my business. And so this is why I decided to do that, because it's a testament of my commitment to myself, a testament of my commitment to my clients, a testament of my commitment to this message that I truly believe in, that we all have what it takes within us to grow and to advance. And a testament that I'm committed to my business, that I'm not just going to quit a couple days from now because stories go away within 24 hours on Instagram, right? Because a post can be deleted and taken down, because social media can be taken away. But when you have a printed something, which like I said, it sucks that I don't have the actual copy here because I forgot it at my sister's and she lives an hour and a half away. Once you have something printed out there, I mean, it's on Barnes and Noble, it's everywhere. It's a commitment that I'm making, that I'm not giving up and I'm not backing down. And that really is what the empowered woman does. A commitment to herself, a commitment to her message, to her business, to her family, and all of that. So I am so grateful for everyone who has been so supportive of this journey. I plan on probably going live later today because this is the day, right? To go all out and be everywhere. So I'll probably go live. I will repurpose the audio of this for the podcast as well to bring a little bit more awareness. But in thanking you one more time, I want to ask you that you share this video, that you share my posts, that you share the link with as many people as you can, because rankings wise, it's super helpful to make as many sales as possible in one specific day. And yeah, we'll continue on. There's so many more amazing things to share through the end of the month, but the focus really is getting this book out, getting this message out to empower women and to empower everyone. So thank you so much for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions. And I do have a couple of reviews. Oh, I was going to share that real quick. I do have a couple of reviews already. Let me share my screen real quick. While we're at it, let me know if you can see that. So here you are. If you go to martasburke.com/book, it will take you directly to the Amazon link. And you can do the Kindle version, although I encourage you to get a paperback, just again to help me with the rankings. I already have a couple of reviews here. Where is it? Some of my amazing friends already left some. Carrie Ann says, as women in the entrepreneurial world, I am always looking for books to help me better understand myself and grow. The Empowered Woman did just that. As an Enneagram 3, I related so much to Marta and truly felt seen and heard. Marta really tells her story, and her path will enable so many other women to go within and truly step into their power of who they are. This book is truly a gift. Thank you so much, Carrie Ann. And Gabby says, Marta is such a gem, and this book is a fantastic manual for how to become empowered by becoming yourself. Marta's knowledge of the Enneagram makes it so easy to find yourself again, no matter how long ago you might have lost yourself. So again, lots of goodness with the Enneagram on there. And I would love to hear from you and to hear your thoughts on the book once you're able to read it. Because like I said, you can read it in one sitting. Hopefully it's engaging enough that you won't want to put it down, but it's a really short read. So yeah, if you go here, you can purchase the paperback or the Kindle. Let me look at some of the rankings. This is where you look down here. And if you're within 100, it means you're a bestseller. So with the Kindle, I'm already a bestseller in Women in Business. A couple of days ago when I released the Kindle just to a few friends so that I would get some reviews, I was also a bestseller in 2 Hour Business and Money Short Reads. So we'll see where it takes us throughout the day. And yeah, here it is. Go get your copy, share it with friends, and I will hop back on later on today for more updates. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful Wednesday, a wonderful rest of your day, and keep me posted. Keep sharing. Once you make your purchase, lots of people are taking screenshots and tagging me. So make sure you do that. Once you make your purchase, take a screenshot, share it on stories, tag me, or share it as a post. And I am forever grateful and thankful. Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. Like I said, you'll be hearing more from me and more specifically on what I'm going to be offering towards the end of the month with Enneagram songs and a boot camp and all of that. But for now, I would love for you to head over to martasburke.com/book and order your copy of The Empowered Woman. Until next time, bye.